Good morning, and the lesson we're going to have today involves how to best document your Photoshop manipulations for your folio. Now I'm going to have a look at this future lesson and I'll show you along the way what you have to do. Now first, of course, you obviously open up the thing as usual, and I'm not sure what I'm talking about this because it's in the future, but we'll see what happens. Now, first thing is obviously that you open up your image. So, of course, you must document that. Now, what you have to do this documenting is to open up a Word file, give it a heading, we'll call it Shoot 7, as it's lesson 7, and I might even give it some sort of label, which is in this case texture. Now I also want to clear the way a little bit, so I might just go forward a couple of pages and then head back up the top again with the arrow. This is so that we can put our screen captures in there, and I'll show you now what I mean by screen capture. Now what we need to do is to go back to this, and using the function button or whatever it is on the Mac, you hold it down and press, in my case, print screen. Can be screen capture, can be other things depending on your computer, but on mine it's function, print screen. Okay, so I've now captured this image. I go back to the Word document and I Control V or paste, and there it is. Now this is a little bit big, okay, so it's too big for our purposes, because we need to fit more on the page than this. So what we need to do is first click on the picture and then click on the picture formatting, go to wrap text, tight, because we want to be able to move it around, and then change the height, because that's what matters. Click on the height over in that top corner there and just make it 7. 7 or less, but 7 is fine. Click off it and it should be nice and small. Now we need to label what it is as well, so we go for that. Put it over to the side. Put it over to the side, I think, and we'll say original. Okay, so that's the original. We go down one, and we head back to the tutorial, or to what you're making. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is to add a duplicate layer. So we can also include this in our documentation. So just freeze at the frame here where you're just about to write duplicate layer, and go to function, print screen. Back to the Word document, Control paste, wrap text, tight, size 7, okay, head down, move across to the side, down one, and then back to the action. Okay, so the layer box has appeared, but we'll stop it next time. Now we need to go to filters, in this case down to thing, other, and then to high pass, and I paused it on there so that you can show that's what you want. And it also demonstrates to me that you know how to find these things and that somebody else hasn't done it for you. Okay, so we'll keep going with this. Very hard to get it to move. Okay, so there we have the high pass filter, and that's the value you're going to end up using, so I'll just stick with that. So I need to capture that as well. Keep going with that. So we've documented all the stages as we're going along. Okay, and that's what's important, that we get as much detail as possible and that you include it all in your book. Now there is the high pass filter if it was turned up high, but we'll find out all about that later. Okay, so where's the next documentation point? Of course we won't be talking. Okay, so there it is. Now, we could see that in the last one, but now we're going to go to here. Overlay. Okay, so we're going to go to overlay, so just capture that for me to show what you're doing. So it's function print screen. Go back to Word, Control paste, make it small again, clicking on the photo, clicking on format, clicking on making it 7, or as I say less if that's good for you. So we'll just leave that high pass filter to be for both. And then this one is add high pass as overlay. Okay, so we'll go down and then we'll head back to this. Okay, so overlay is what it's going to add right now, and then we'll have a look at what happens when that comes, and there it is. Okay, so that's with your high pass overlay added onto it, and obviously if you compared the two you'd see. So once again we need to capture that image and go back to Word, paste it, make it small, so click on the photo, click on format. Always the same thing. It is a bit tedious, I must admit, when you're doing something really long, but on the whole it's all right. To write in overlay applied. Okay, and so your thing looks something like this. Okay, so you've got your heading, 6 screen captures that go from the original picture to the final image, and then usually if it was something that you were working on, you would also include an A4 picture of the finished product. Okay, and that is all you need to do to document your Photoshop manipulations. Now obviously it'll often be a lot longer than that. Okay, so here's another one where I was merging 3 images, and these are the steps I was taking, adding posters to the wall and things like that, and adding graffiti to the paint job. Okay, so it can often be a lot longer, but certainly trying to get 3 to an A4 page, and so therefore 6 on any one of your A3 folio pages is the most economical way to go, and also make sure that images aren't too big. If you want something to be really big so that you can show more detail, that's fine. And as I say, you should always finish with a large size image of what you have done. Okay, so that's all, and I will talk to you again soon. Bye.